Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, as we carry on our tabletop RPG series of Warhammer Fantasy, 2nd edition of Mordheim, City of the Damned, A Leaf Too Far, and now with 100%
more elves.
Nope, 100% more beard. Hello. For anyone who does want to watch, I now have a webcam up, so people can see my descriptions, and I can do hand motions and flailing about and shit. So, in our last episode, the group had seen some disturbing things. They had found some objects, some items to look into, and they had got to the town, the small town of Worcesterborg. I think that's what we were calling it.
There was much Wurst and rejoicing.
There was some Wurst. They had got to dump their shit off at the merchants and had got to the tavern and were told that they had a warm bed to sleep in, some drinks and a hot meal, cooked by a proficient cook, which will make a big difference. However, we go back a few days. Our elves began their journey on the 7th. Well, in the woods of Lafloren, there was an outrider who had just finished his task of scouting part of the Lafloren woods for his clan. Or her clan. Their clan. Upon returning, they found out that the Queen, L'Oreal, had released a decree that any of her children, any of her kith or kin, who felt adventurous, who would take up her quest to search the lands of the humans for artifacts that were lost long ago. Many elves had taken off in small groups, and when Mordred arrived home, you were told about this decree. But you were also told that many of the elven teams had already left. But one group went on foot, and they had glade guards go with them for at least part of the way. This group would be the easiest for you to catch up with. So you do. You say your goodbyes to your family, and you take off. You ride with all speed on your steed, with excitement in your heart that a new adventure awaits, new lands to explore, and adventures to be had. You leave on the 8th, and you ride for a long time. But after a while you see the Glade Guard returning towards the woods. And after a few pleasantries, they point you in the direction of one of their fellows. A Glade Guard who went with... A Glade Guard who went with the other elves to guide them, to give them a little bit more support on their long journey. Mordred, you were given an elven signaling horn. You can add this to your inventory. They tell you that if you ride for another day and night and blow the horn, you will hear the return signal from their scout. And he should be able to point you on a closer direction to where he last saw the team. You and your steed travel quickly, far quicker than anyone on foot. It's taken you a day. You left on the 8th and it is now the 9th. You have used a day's worth of rations that you were given from your people, and you may have more on you. scout the land, you can see the river. You also see crows circling overhead. Not far from your position, at a bend in the river, you see them landing and eating something. Do you investigate or ignore it and move on?
I imagine that time is of the essence and I need to find this group.
You've made
But
good time.
In that case, I suppose that I would investigate.
Sure. It's on the path, so you're not taking a big detour. You go closer to the river, and you see a couple of bodies, a couple of floaters in the river. A couple have beached themselves on the bend of the river where some rocks protrude from the water. One is very close to the shore. You can see another couple that are caught on rocks further down the river. With a quick count, maybe 8 or 9, maybe 7. You're not entirely sure if all the bodies are of one person or multiple in some cases. As you look at the body, you can see clear signs that although the flesh is purpling and bloated, you can see there is a straight stab wound that goes straight through the face. It's quite a large sized blade, probably about a 2-inch, maybe 2.5-inch thickness blade, straight in and out.
And go over and inspect the ring further.
Is just a silver band.
Unfortunate. May I pull these bodies to shore?
One of them you can easily get ashore. It's already partially beached. The others would be far more difficult. One of the ones that's closest, that's caught up in the protruding rocks, you could get to quite easily. You'd get wet feet, but apart from that, it wouldn't be difficult. The ones that are further in the river, it would be too difficult for you to do on your own. You are on a horse. It's a deep river, actually. They've been sailing a boat up it. Now, it's probably too deep for a horse to cross to get in.
In this case, I will beach whichever ones I can. If there are twigs around, I can construct some sort of burial marker or whatever. And then I suppose do a more thorough investigation of said bodies that I can actually shore up. And afterwards, if nothing else is interesting, I would like to leave.
Okay. So you go down to pull the body that's already beached itself. The legs are still in the water and part of the torso. You go to pull it up further. Give me a strength test. So as you reach down, so you can fortune if you'd like. However, this is not going to. You're lifting a corpse out of the water. It's not that bad. What would you like to do?
Well, I don't wish to fortune. I think that this was just for narrative purposes.
Okay, brilliant. As you go to pick up the corpse, you put your arms under the armpits and you go to heave, and the legs rip off, and the torso comes up, but the legs begin to float further down the river. Rotting innards fall out and splash into the water. The smell is quite repulsive. The sun may have dried it or the water covered it, but now that the corpse is open, can you give me a toughness test, please? Unfortunately, as just the smell comes up to your very sensitive elven nose, there's a sweet smell to the rot and decay, and you fight back, but bile comes into your mouth and you have to choke it down, or you can relieve it if you wish.
That is not staying in my system for very long.
So you allow it to come. You just get it out and drop the torso on the ground. Further up, I imagine you would have stumbled backwards a bit as you tried to heave up.
Yes, absolutely. I suppose I will try one more time.
Okay.
I should give him my best.
So you step into the water. The river is quite cold at this time of year. It is just out of winter. We are just entering spring at the moment. So waters on the mountain tops are melting. And it's particularly cold. But apart from that, there's no other ailments. You attempt to lift the other corpse out of the water. After learning from your previous attempt, you take hold of the clothes, the ruff of the neck, and round by the trousers, and you use the water and slide the corpse rather than lifting. It stays in one piece, and you are able to flip it over and get a decent look. Much like the other one, the flesh is putrefied, bloated. It appears areas fish have begun nibbling away. With this one, however, you would notice that the face is gone. As you roll it over, it is just imploded. Yet the back of the skull was still intact, and as you look, there are small holes around the side of the person's cheeks and jawline.
Ah, well, I don't know if I have a journal or anything.
You can essentially have a journal. You also have one on your character sheet where you can keep lists of things to look up and to investigate later.
All right. In that case, I wish to make note of this. And since I am no expert in this field, I would imagine that I would like to go find someone who is.
Okay. Would you take anything from the corpses?
I would imagine that would be more along the lines of desecration, and I'm not about that.
It would more be a moral thing. Taking from the dead is not... Depending on which group you belong to, would depend if it's seen as a moral, grey area. Armies will very rarely leave their equipment on the dead. They will reclaim it and repurpose it. So it would be entirely up to you as a player character.
I would most certainly not do that.
Okay, so you fashion a sign for, let's say you make a cross of some sort, and stick it up on the path, on the road that leads along the river, to warn people, to let them know, or just as a marker. Open for me. So we are on the 9th. So you carry on riding. This is early in the morning that you find the corpses, and by about midday, you get to the point where the glaive guard said you should blow the horn. And as you do, you wait not long at all, almost to the count of 6, before you hear the exact duplicate horn being signalled a mile or so away. You head in that direction, and you very quickly come across the glaive guard on his horse. It appears as if he headed towards you and you headed towards him, thus halving the time. And he, after a few pleasantries, informs you that appeared to have got into a small skirmish. He was quite a long way away, but the last he saw of them, they were heading upriver on a human trading vessel. It was moving extremely slow. You shouldn't have any problems catching up with them. And he points you in the correct direction.
With haste.
So you ride on. You find somewhere to rest that's excluded, out of the way, up a tree. And you don't have any problems getting a couple of hours sleep, just enough to keep you aware and not fatigue you too much, plus to allow your horse to rest. But you head out before sunrise. Before sunset. And as sunrise on the 10th, you see again more carrion birds circling in the air. You're on the road that runs along the side of the river, and in the far distance you can see what appears to be smoke. Very slight smoke, almost from a campfire, but there's a few plumes. Maybe a town of some sort. As you come around the corner to where the carrion birds are, you see the sign of dead horses. These horses were once magnificent creatures. You can easily tell from their breeding the muscles that are now rotting and decaying. You very quickly can see that there's 9 horses. As you're so close, I will give you that one of the horses appears to have had its face just cave in. Much like the human's face that you saw before. It's just shredded and almost imploded on itself. Another horse appears to have red eyes, although now they're quite milky and off. You can still see that they were red and puffy at one point. Do you want to give me a perception test? I should remember, because this is with your eyes, +5. As you kind of are riding up to and past this, in case you see anything else or wish to investigate further. you start investigating, you see that one of the horses still has this horse has collapsed, had a horse collapse on top of it, so its head and tackle have been obscured. All the other horses, you can see that their tackle has been removed and it's gone. But this one that you're now, as you bend down to pick up these pellets, you can see its tackle remains on its head. And you can see that part of the ornamentation on it is a sigil of a wolf dog's head.
All right. I suppose that I will make a note of that. Do I recognize this clan tag at all?
No.
All right.
I'd give you, it definitely looks of human design. It's not dwarven, because dwarves don't ride horses. And it's definitely not elven.
All right.
If you like,
Then,
you can cut. It'd be too difficult for you to remove the horse that's currently collapsed on top of its head, but you could cut the braiding off. Is it braiding? Or bradding?
It is braiding.
Braiding. You could cut the braiding off, so you'd have the piece of material with the sigil on.
Sure. Sounds good to me. I would love to cut it off.
Sure, that's an easy enough task. You could easily take a bit of cloth and wrap the pellets up and store them in your coin pouch. You mount your horse and carry on. It is about 9-10 o'clock. No, hang on, it's a little bit later. It would be around 3 in the afternoon by the time that you get to the town of Wusterborg. As you come up to the town, this is maybe one of the first human towns you've seen. It's smaller than that. There's maybe about a dozen buildings. They have a small defensive wooden wall that goes round. But they do have a small dock, and as you look along the river, you can see that there is a trading vessel. One that the glaive guard described to you.
Suppose I'll investigate that further as well, as long as I have the time to.
Yeah, sure. So you ride up to the town gates. The guards, who are standing guards there, aren't very well equipped. They have common spears and shields. Their town garb, the colours that they wear, are faded and appear to be old. They don't stop you as you enter. Currently, the Wood Elves are not at war with any of the Imperial provinces, so you are free to enter. But you do get some odd looks. It is rare that your kind enter towns, and as you make your way in, you would hear a couple of children, as they're playing and turning round to see who's new, who's come through. Your perception is... Do you know what? I'd say your perception is high enough that I'll give you. That they point at you and... Oh my god, it's an elf! It's an elf! I tell you what, I saw a couple down at the tavern. No, you didn't. Don't lie. I did. Would you say that you're a male or female for your character?
My elf is male.
Okay, so
A little bit thicker than a normal or a stereotypical elf, but only minorly.
so as you tip your hat, there are two boys and a girl. The boys kind of give you discouraging looks and not too pleased at all, whereas the girl, she actually swoons a little bit, and you can see a red flush come to her cheeks.
I don't know if I have any like trinket I could give her as like sign of goodwill or whatever.
We want her
But,
to get mugged. You want that girl to get mugged?
Eh. This isn't KO Tour, that doesn't happen.
I would probably say that you wouldn't have that many trinkets on you.
I would agree. So I will just again continue on my way.
Sure. Who did we lose?
That would be
Spoons,
Spoons.
actually.
Ah, he's back. Okay.
And so he's back.
Have we got your spoons?
You're muted, Spoons.
Yes.
Ah, cool. So it's quite a small little town. It's quite easy to find the tavern. So as you follow the main road, you eventually come to a building where it certainly does look like a tavern. People are coming and going, eating and drinking. And as you ride your steed past, you do indeed see an elf. Hang on a minute. Have the elves put their characters in the bar? Yes, there's at least one. So, if you'd like to drag your token onto the map, if you scroll down south, you'll see where the tavern is. There we go, I pulled you all there because I'm evil. Yeah, including the Soon Raccoon.
No.
And for putting your token down, if you click on your name and then drag it and drop it, your character will appear. Hang on, what?
What's on now?
Why is Humperdinck? That's not Humperdinck. That's too thin.
She looks way too athletic to be our employer.
The one that I've pinged is Humperdinck, and it's just like
He still looks too thin.
Size of that unit.
He's not fat, he's just big boned.
What a mad lad.
and it might help if I move the stream over. Oh no, I did move the stream over. Okay, I'm doing well. So yeah, Mordred, as you ride your horse along, you see the tavern and you can hear and possibly see through the windows at least one of your fellow people. And you would note that there is a stable here where you could leave your horse overnight and it could get some rest.
Excellent. I suppose I should know how much to pay the stable keep.
You'd do that once you're in the tavern. The tavern keeper would be the one who you'd basically tell. You can take your horse round there, tie it up, and then come round and enter through the front, and then settle the bill. Because you might only be tying up your horse until you leave, which might be straight after you get something to eat. So it'd be him you speak to.
Okay.
So run your cursor over your name. When it lights up, it should light up to a light blue. Just hold down, click, and drag, and you'll pull the whole name. So it will say Mordred in a white box, and just drag it over onto the map and release, and it will drop you down.
Excellent. Problem fixed. I appreciate you, gentlemen.
No worries. It takes a while to get used to how the system works. That's all. So as you enter, actually, should probably change the music to tab. So as you enter, you can see there's a very large, fat man. He has a small goatee. He has a triple chin. And at the moment, as you walk in, he currently has 2 beads of sweat that run along his triple chin, along the folds of the flesh. They almost glisten and give him like this. It almost looks like he's got a fine gold chain running in the folds of the flesh. His table is covered in food. He has entire chickens, whole steamed fish, a bottle of, it might be fine wine, you're not quite sure, but he is drinking it with an immense appetite. It almost looks as if he hasn't drunk or eaten anything this good in quite some time, but surely by the size of him, that can't be the case. As you look around, you can see a couple of bar wenches taking drinks over to different individuals. There's a dwarf, 2 humans, and 2 elves.
I wish to cast a very judgmental look over at the spokesperson for McDonald's and
With actual.
cast a very long gaze at him. Afterwards, I wish to go over to my kind and greet them most vivaciously.
Sure. So, Lilia and Irella? No.
Guess who just dropped? Hey,
He's
spoons.
It's Aurelia and Livia, yeah?
Olivia.
Okay.
Yep.
You see another one of your kind walk into the bar. Aurelia, you've said that your character was a bit of a socialite, so I'll leave it up to you if you actually have met this person before.
I don't know if I know him. On the journey, so you know what? I'm gonna roll AD 100.
Sure, leave it up to Nuffle.
And that's a no. I don't know. I'm just in the corner over here, spinning very ugly on my hand.
Okay, we'll put the elves in at the side where they can talk. So you'd see them, Mordred, towards the back of the room, clearly staying out of the way of the well, Jim always calls them mayflies, so let's go with that. Out of the way of the mayfly.
Racist.
But they are mayflies. Their lifespan is so short.
I mean, that makes sense. I suppose that I would feel more comfortable around my kin, so I would like to approach them and greet them again with great vigor.
Could you choose your character again? Could you? Are you this one? Riley is going to perk her head up, stop spinning the arrow. Greetings, brother. Hey, we were expecting a scout, but well, we thought you might be dead at this point.
I sure felt like it. I was merely delayed.
Well, it happens.
Prithee thee, have you seen corpses with their faces ripped off, or maybe shot with these pellets? And I would like to reveal the metallic beads from the horse that I collected.
And Riley's going to look at Olivia, and is going to look back at you. Yes, we... Do you mean the horses down by the road? A couple days out, south?
Just a
Yes.
question. You're all speaking in Elven, right?
We should.
Yes.
Another question, do I notice the metal piece?
I'm not trying to hide it. You would definitely see it.
Would I recognize it?
I mean, technically that's a bullet.
So it's not actually a bullet. It's a shot from a blunderbuss. Slightly different.
Sorry.
Where they're small metal pellets. Blackhand, you do want to be an engineer. However, the dwarves,
Yep.
as far as I'm aware, don't use blunderbusses. Hang on. I'm not 100% on that, but they might not. Roll me an intelligence to see if you have. You can have a plus 10 for your background and a plus 5 for your race. So plus 15 altogether.
That should be alright.
So you've definitely heard of these. You may not have actually seen one in person, but the size of the shot, it must be pellets for a blunderbuss of some sort.
What did you say exactly? You broke out for me.
You haven't seen a blunderbuss in person up close, but you've heard about blunderbusses and their shots. Small pellets that are jammed in to a very large cannon. Not cannon, but not rifle. It's a, from what you were told, it's a bigger diameter, like your fist. And yeah, it's got to be from that. So you definitely know that it is blunderbuss shot.
Alright. I speak up and asks, where did you get it?
I cut it from a horse's hide. I also found this sigil there as well, and I will produce the wolf dog's braid.
What was the... It was a waltzing cat on the gold locket, right?
No, it was the same. It was the wolf's head. Wolf
Yeah,
dog.
Wolfman crest.
Yeah, wolf dog. It's a. I believe I actually said originally it was meant to be an Irish wolfhound, as the crests, like the dog that it looks like. But yeah, it's a wolfhound. It's the same crest.
Yeah, that should. Just out of here, just to I just refresh my memory. Casper did identify the sigil, didn't he?
Yep.
Yes.
So
And I did
Rose
tell
didn't-
him.
Yeah, but we all took a look at it.
Yeah, Ralia will raise an eyebrow and say, "You actually grabbed that?" Casper over there actually identified that sigil. It's from a house down way up north called Caligo, I believe. Also, did you see corpses floating down the river? I really hope it didn't touch any of them.
Oh. Privy, what would be the dangers in touching them?
Well, one of our deckheads. So, are you feeling cold, ill, feverish?
Not to my knowledge, I don't, but I can certainly roll for it.
No, you're fine. Fortunately, as you were picking up the corpse, all the gore fell down. Whereas the poor individual in the boat, he had the corpse land on top of him and had corpse juice go in his mouth.
Yup, he drank the goo.
That's definitely different, and in which case, nothing that extreme.
Oh, you're one of the lucky ones.
They also left him outside in the cold to die.
We couldn't risk the
Detail.
plague spreading.
We're gonna tell Humperdinck that he has the plague too.
Oh yeah, we scared the ever-living shit out of Humperdinck.
Indeed, we did.
That was amazing.
What happened to him? Oh, he has the plague. What?
Olivia. No, that's not all. The rally will lower.
Jim,
Okay,
you're
with the
breaking up
broken-
again for me.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Better now?
I'll
Nope.
have to see.
Aurelia will look to Olivia and say, Olivia, he was technically not our fault, and, well, Aurelia will lower her voice and say, the guy with the broken nose, though, that was definitely my fault. And she'll smile behind her mask.
Livia will say that. Yeah, but she feels like she should have done something. Like, he
Okay.
could have been safe.
Well, we can risk it. Besides, we didn't have any medical supplies. The brews these mayflies actually use are, well, filthy.
True.
Better than nothing, I guess, but still, not your fault. Excuse me, brother. I didn't catch your name. What is your name?
You may call me Moore, but my name is Mordred.
Pleasure to meet you, Mordred. I'm Aurelia. This is Livia. The short, stubby man behind you, that would be Blacken, I believe. Getty's the one at the bar over there, and that over there, the ugly one and beat up, that's Magness. And
I look at them when I presumably hear my name. It probably doesn't sound all that different in Elven.
well, it's just your name, but in Otharan. And then she'll look at then she'll point at the fat man eating, wolfing down chickens, and she's gonna go like, and that's our current employer. He's traveling the same way we are, and well, he has a boat and he's paying us.
I mean, far be it from me to ask questions about our employer, but him? Really?
As your fellow elves point out the fat man and inform you that he's paying them, you see some armed men enter the establishment. They come up to him and a discussion is had. Magnus, you can easily overhear this. The bar's not too busy, so you could all just about make out they are apparently here for work. And the rather large fat man takes out a handkerchief and begins patting down his chin, removing the glistening sweat, and he begins to talk business with them. After a minute or so,
Can I listen in?
sure. Essentially, you overhear. So that's 7 gold for the trip, plus our accommodation and rations, right? Yes. It's a standard contract, of course, you know, and that's how it's done. Standard. See? You just sign here, and he takes out some documents. The men look at each other, and he produces 7 gold coins for each. 3 stacks. They stare at the gold before taking the quill, and you don't see them sign, but none of them hold the quill for long enough for it to be a true signature. And they take the gold, and yes, well, you will stay here. Accommodation is paid for, and food, a couple of drinks. I'm not going to pay for you to get wasted, of course, but a few to help with morale. And then, of course, you'll be protecting me and my cargo and my valuables. Yeah, that seems fair deal, my lord. We'll be here if you need us. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I think this is a good job. I think we can do this. They take place over at the table, and one of the bar wenches is called over, and you see them getting their food and drinks brought over.
Intriguing. What did you call these people? Mayflies?
Yes, they are mayflies.
Where does that name originate from?
Out of character, we call them that because mayflies live like, I think it's a week, and the bug actually lives, and these humans technically live like the same amount of time a mayfly would. So mayfly.
Excuse me. Player knows that in character, Moore would not have any clue about such things.
Are you a wood elf? If you're a wood elf, you would know that.
Oh, I would know that? Okay.
Yeah, that's elven slang for humans.
It's like
Sure.
the dwarven is hungy. So when dwarves refer to humans, they're the hungy, they don't live very long. They tend to be weaker, but they do all right for themselves.
Yeah, dwarves call us Augie too. Augie, actually.
We
What's
also
that?
call humans lumberfoot.
Yes.
Yeah, lumberfoot.
Okay.
I mean, it's better than being a Waluigi.
Oh yes, no. Well, Moderate, if you want me to, I can probably talk to the fat man for you, but you should probably go. Moderate, present yourself to him and say hi. Talk to the fat man. I really don't remember his name. He's just a merchant. But
If
present yourself to him.
must.
He's paying us 14 gold crowns, and you do have a horse, don't you? So you can probably squeeze that same amount out of him. That would be quite useful in our journey. So
Sure. I suppose that in this case I will approach said merchant. Did they give me a name, or am I to just introduce myself as Moore?
actually, give me 1 second because he really does know
His name's Malleus von Humperdinck.
Yes, Humperdinck.
Malleus von Humperdinck.
Yes.
All right. In that case, I will saunter on over to von Humperdinck and introduce myself.
That's bar wench. Or
Oh.
von Humperdinck's the man.
Oh. I'm sorry, they both
Hilarious, though.
They are both green, I will give you that. I actually thought that the bar wench was more
I mean, you
Malleus.
can always introduce yourself to the bar wench later, but
I mean, I was kind of zoomed out there for a second, so it was like, oh, they're both green, awesome.
No, that's fair
And
enough.
and the description of him, I heard a whole bunch of food, and I looked between the two tables, and only one table had a bunch of stuff on it. So
So the noble merchant lord looks up as you approach, and wipes his mouth and his goatee.
Von Humperdinck, I presume.
He gives you like a skeptical look, and yes.
My name is Mordred. I will hopefully be accompanying your protection on this journey from henceforth.
Oh, he wipes a pudgy hand on his napkin that is tucked into the neck of his clothes. Oh, you're here for employment. Oh, I see. It's rather odd that so many of your kind are employed by me, but I suppose we could never have too many sharp eyes and ears. Yes. Well, as you will see, I have many. He gestures at your elven comrades and the humans, the dwarf and the other humans to the side. I have many hirelings for the protection of my goods. You see.
I raise an eyebrow.
Sorry, what was that, LB?
I raise an eyebrow.
Definitely eyebrows go up. Like more like had.
So I'm not in a massive need like I was when your fellows found us along the river. But do you have anything that you can offer me in any possessions that may be worth money?
I have never gone to an interview where the employer asked something of person.
Well, for example, he points at Magness. He has a boat, a little rowboat, but it gives him more value.
In which case I'm a very trained Mountie. I have my horse, Short Stacks, over in the stable over there.
Oh, marvelous! You have a beast of burden. Well, yes, that would be a fine contribute to you could help pull the ship along with Magness and his boat. We would save a lot of time. He takes out a very small abacus, not like the one that the group saw before. This is a pocket size, but yet it seems at first glance that it is of rare materials. He keeps it very close to himself, though, and yes, let me. Oh well, I suppose what other are you just trying to ride the horse, or are you looking to protect my great wealth? And he kind of gestures to himself at that point and the things around him.
Magnus rolls his eyes.
I presume that there will be a level of protection given to you by my presence, yes.
Very well then. Well, if we're taking into account that you will be fighting, I don't need to protect you, and you will protect my valuables. He goes on his little abacus, and well then, I think 5 gold for the horse, and renting for 3 weeks, which will take us up to Nullen. Yes. And then from there, a new contract may be written up, or you can go your separate ways. But I will pay you 10 gold for your services, because, as you can see, I'm not in desperate need for more armsmen.
No, but you do appear very interested in the horse, so my counteroffer is 10 and 10.
You will need to give a haggle check for that.
Sure.
Just as a note, haggling is opposed, so the Lord Merchant also gets to roll a haggle, and the difference is taken out. So if you get, say, 3 degrees of success, and he gets 2 degrees of success, you beat him by 1, so therefore you get 10% more.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do this with the knowledge that there is no possible way that I will ever win this check. So,
Nuffle
You
is,
gotta, you gotta believe. You fail 100% of the rolls you don't take.
Well, see, here's the tricky bit: is that I am probably going to fail this roll as well.
Believe in yourself.
If
Oh,
not,
no.
ask for help.
You may get a critical.
Did I?
You didn't roll yet.
You didn't roll, yeah.
it might be asking you for a modifier, which would be 0.
Ooh.
I mean, it was a good. No, it wasn't a good try.
Holy
No,
shit.
Wait. Yeah,
It is-
figures.
He's a merchant,
He's
no
a
very
keyboard.
merchant.
Holy
I'm very
crap!
glad I didn't roll the last session. I would have been screwed out of so much.
You don't get that fat without being good at your job. He looks at you and, well, yes, the horse is actually quite valuable. You are quite right. I'll give you 10 for the horse and 5 for yourself, because as you can see, I don't actually need fighters, but saving a reasonable amount on, I was going to have to get a beast of burden anyway, so it's cheaper this way, yes. So the offer stays the same, it's just reversed around.
Sweet. Amazing. Sounds good.
So he brings out a contract, and it's in Reichspiel, which you can read. Going through it, you see it's a standard work contract. It says that basically all your accommodation is paid for, all your food is paid for, your term of service is 3 weeks until you reach the town of Nullen, at which point the contract is terminated.
Okay.
As you are a fighter as well as you have valuable possessions, you will be staying with the others in one of the rooms upstairs. So you will be able to have a decent bed and some warm meals and a drink. We will be here for 2 days, so carry out any business that you may wish to do, and then yes, we leave.
All right. I appreciate your time, sir.
Yes, and here's to good business and strong beasts of burden. Yes, we'll save much time and make a tidy profit. As he starts talking about profit, the beads of sweat that go along his treble chin begin to form again.
Oh boy.
Do we know what cargo he's carrying?
No, you haven't investigated.
I wonder if his chin is big enough to like conceal a dagger.
Conceals the pistol even.
No
A small
one would
blade?
ever check his chin.
A small blade, like a razor blade, easily. Now, if it was capped at one end, he could quite easily hide it under.
I mean, there is this video of a fat guy hiding an AK-47 under his belly, so...
I do not wish to see that.
I think I already have seen it.
So as the night goes on, the afternoon goes on, it's about 4 o'clock now. You would notice that there are not any young people coming into this establishment. The youngest that you've seen so far have been the mercenaries who came in, but they look withered. They're not young by any means. Yes, there are a couple of labourers here and there who are late 20s, but most are old. And you don't see many children around at all.
Okay.
Magness and Casper. Definitely Magness,
Yes.
possibly Casper. This would be more noticeable to you two, because you're humans, you've been in human towns and villages, and this place is quiet.
Okay.
So, is this like a conscripting army just went through quiet?
You found out last time from the rumours that the barman was reeling off that a plague has come through. It did head north. You heard that there was a battle up at Siegfriedhof and there was a warg down south. Both have ended by this point, but both could be all three reasons could be the cause of the young folk just not being here.
Plus the standard city to village to city migration, probably. Although this is fantasy, so maybe not.
There's still quite a few people here. It's mainly, you would say, young adults, not just teenagers and
Young adults, teenagers, children, they are all in low numbers in this small town. The only, out of all of you, the only one to see any children was Mordred when he came into town.
For the sake of curiosity, Casper's going to take just a walk around town just to take in the sights and take a look at some of the vendors and stuff around there, but mainly keep an eye out to see, kind of keep a tally of how many people he sees, because he would be a bit curious about this.
Sure. So as you take a little walk after your meal, you go around and you can see that the vendors and the tradesmen are all packing up. Very few of them have apprentices. The odd one or two have a young apprentice with them, but when I say young, we're talking 14 to 11 kinds of ages. You see a lot of women about, early 30s and later. There are a few. There aren't many young women about, and there are very few mothers. You spend an hour and walk around the whole town. You would see that there's maybe 6 children in total that you've seen. You would expect there to be at least 30 children in a town like this, with how violent the old world is. Humans have to keep replenishing, otherwise you'll be like the elves and get wiped out soon. Moving on. So it is definitely light in population count.
Okay.
Would you ask anyone about what's going on?
Yeah, I'd talk to one of the vendors, maybe one of the ones without an apprentice.
Sure.
Just ask them how to kind of start off just innocently enough. How are you getting on? Packing up sorely? And then kind of, you don't seem to have an apprentice or anything. It seems rather quiet around town.
I had an apprentice. A lot of us did, but when the plague came through, it took a lot of the young ones. And then, it was very odd. The plague came through and disappeared. It seemed odd, but the local lord said it was just a plague and we should thank Sigmar that it had passed so quickly. But,
just the young ones? No elderly?
No. That's the oddest thing. Some of the oldest here that we thought wouldn't make it another summer, they came through it fine.
Okay. Well, could you point me in the direction of someone who lost a young one?
He looks at himself and looks at most of the other traders who don't have an apprentice. Most of us, as you can see, we're not getting any younger. We should be passing on skills of the trade to the younger folk, but the only reason Matthew's apprentice is still around is he was up in the hills getting ore, well, trading with the miners, and the old blacksmith can't really do the hiking anymore, and the price of getting it delivered, just sent his apprentice. He was gone, and when he came back, well, the gentleman comes very dour again, and you can see there's pain there. He came back to the smoke and the ash, but then it was gone. We were all quite worried for him, told him he should leave, but he was fine. Like I said, it came and went, but took a heavy toll.
Okay. Well, I'll thank him for his time, and sorry to hear about the town's loss, and slip him 2 silver shillings just to make up for the fact that I took up some of his time.
He thanks you, and he, in return, passes over a ration. I appreciate it, but trade's a trade, and the information this time's free. So you have a bundle, which is 1 week's food rations of dried, preserved goods.
Okay. 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 Well. Okay. Quick nod of the head and take another walk around before we return to the bar. What's the rest of them? See the rest of them.
Sure. Would any of you guys do anything whilst you're in the bar? Or would you just be eating, drinking, and getting to know each other?
I mean, I would maybe try to coax a few more rumors out of the barkeep. Essentially, I would like to roll gossip.
Sure. You can roll gossip and see if there's anything else that he might be keeping.
Nah, I didn't think so.
He basically tells you the same as what he has told everyone else, that there was a plague that came through and a lot of young people died, and that there was a battle in Siegfriedhof and about the Warg. But he would give you something else. If you've been here, you're drinking, your customers. He would tell you that there are rumours that vampires could have been the cause, or were partly to blame for the trouble in Siegfriedhof. But he waves a hand, and if
how far away are we from Sylvain?
a long way.
Exactly.
You're a long way. There's 3 provinces. You're in Westerland, then there's Averland, and then there's Siegfriedhof, and then Stirling, and then there's Sylvain. So yeah, there's like 3 provinces in the way. I might be wrong there, but
Point is, it's quite a ways away.
yeah, he brushes his hand off and about the vampires, and it's probably all hearsay. It's been I think it's 80 years since the last vampire armies, or the vampire wars. No, sorry, not the wars. That's further. The last time vampires tried to raise an army. Yeah, this place is Westerborg. So, if there's nothing else the group would do, you eat, drink. Casper returns as another the last free round that you would have free is poured and passed out.
Okay, well, I would go to some of the ones in the group, tell them kind of what I learned. That it was mainly only the young ones that died. None of the elderly or anyone that would be really susceptible to plague, and that one of the apprentices actually survived it because he was out in the hills away from the town. Kind of point out that I find this rather odd. Doesn't sound like anything I've heard before.
Oh. Yeah, mayflies do have short lifespan. Maybe it's just the natural way of things. Maybe it's just nature calling a few of us. Mayflies do have short lifespan in this case. Maybe it's just
You say that, but the merchant I talked to said some of the elderly they wouldn't even think last the summer. You say that, but survived this plague, but some young apprentices, people who keep fit, didn't.
Like I said, maybe this is just nature calling a few of you. It does happen every now and then. Or it could be something far worse, but, you know, I guess we have to head north to find out. They did say the plague headed north, didn't they?
Maybe they upset more in some way, and so he took his due.
Well, like I said, let's head north, and we'll find out along the way. This thing, though, about the vampires, that does interest me, though. That is something rather curious.
Vampires this far from Sylvain. You can't be serious. We're practically at the other end of the Empire.
Well, if you say Mayfly, I'll still rather be, well, safe than sorry and prepare myself for the eventuality of us running into a vampire.
As if we had anything of interest to the potential vampire.
We have bodies.
Ren's gonna conquer her side to the side and say, "You do realize that vampires wear walking blood bags, right?"
You invite the ill by speaking of it.
I just speak the truth.
So, we have 2 more days here, right?
Yes, it's the 10th. You leave on the 12th.
Okay, so what are we going to do for the next 2 days? We're going to look into plagues, vampires, anything in between, or just spend some money and get pished?
I'm always down for a witch hunt.
And a piss up.
I'll go with witch hunt.
Wait, why are we suddenly hunting witches?
I have no idea. That's actually quite a scary order of the humans. So,
Yeah.
I really will not even speak about it.
Could someone ask the barkeeper if there is pay involved?
We're still on the merchant's payroll, right? This is not our final destination.
No, we're only here for another 2 days. Then we set off again. just because he's selling and buying things here.
He's wheeling and dealing.
Yep.
Really will spend her day spinning Hyrule and just watching.
Livia might want to go shopping.
Shopping.
Oh yeah, I will go visit the market first.
Okay. Well, the market's closed for now. It's about 6 o'clock now, something like that. You guys are just chatting, and once you go to sleep, you can go to the market next day.
Fine.
I mean, Aurelia already bought all she needed, so.
So, if there's nothing else that you guys would talk about, other than the idea of going on a witch hunt and going after vampires and all sorts of heroic shit that level 1 characters probably shouldn't do,
Yeah.
you go to bed with zeal and pep in your steps and the idea of an adventure, and you have a good night's sleep. The beds are quite comfortable, the rooms are warm, and it's all 6 of you in one room, which is quite convenient. For anyone who is wounded, you will heal 2 hit points whilst you are staying in. Oh, I believe I called this tavern the Waltzing Cat.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, this is the Watson Cat.
So yes, whilst you stay at the Waltzing Cat, you will receive recover an extra hit point. It's not amazing accommodation. Better accommodation will give you more heals and other stuff if you stay longer, but that will cost a considerable amount. The next morning, you're woken up to the smells of frying bacon, and well, that's all you really need to smell. Maybe not for the elves, but at least for the humans and the dwarves, that is the call to rise. It's about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock by the time you all gather downstairs. You were given a breakfast, which apparently the merchant has paid for. I think I said 1 meal. It's 2 meals. You get your breakfast and your dinner.
I think you
We
did
have to
say
go catch our
breakfast.
lunch ourselves.
I do think you said breakfast and dinner.
Yeah, that may have been a mistake by me. It's breakfast, dinner, and 2 ales. 2 free drinks, essentially. Well, as long as you're not asking for whiskies or anything. You wake up and the merchant is not there. However, you probably could have heard his rather loud walrus-like coming from the finest room in the establishment.
How does he not wake the dead with that snore?
He probably does.
But fortunately, you were far enough away that you didn't have to
And
deal with it.
before Merchant Lord is secretly a necromancer and doesn't know about it.
End game content.
You would notice that as the other, I believe now there's another 6 mercenaries come out of their room, which is much closer to the noble lords. They seem a lot more tired than you guys, surprisingly. But they come out and they also have breakfast. After having a meal, if there's nothing else that you wanted to do in the tavern, you all leave and take a walk around the town. Begin to head to the marketplace. It is in the marketplace at about 9:30, 10 that Mordred. Well, actually, can everyone roll me perception? There is a plus 30 to this, but depending on how many degrees will depend on what you hear.
Oops.
You know.
Also, for anyone who used a fate fortune point, you would recover 1 as you slept. However, at the moment, Irelia, tell me if I'm saying your names wrong, because obviously I'm still getting used to them. Irelia, Drogonol.
Correct.
Drogonol, the Black Hand, you would hear the scream. Magness, Livia. Oh no, hang on. Magness and Irelia, you both hear the scream, and you hear the sounds of wolves howling. But Livia and Magness, you both hear the sounds of a child scream, wolves howling, but another howl underneath. You're not quite sure. Yeah, you're both elves. You're not quite sure what creature is howling. Not one native to the forests, but there is definitely another creature, another hound of some sorts, howling. And it sounds as if the scream is closer, the wolves kind of in the middle, and the other howl is further away. You would all see, except from Black Hand, you don't. Unfortunately, you heard the scream, but you don't see the girl. Everyone's in your way, and you just can't see her. A small.
Can I ready my axe?
I mean,
Sure.
makes sense. He's kind of tiny.
You see, the rest of you see a small girl run towards the centre of town.
Hey,
Mordred, this is the girl you
150.
saw yesterday.
All right.
Casper, you hear the scream. You hear the scream, the wolf's howl, and you see the girl.
Okay. Sorry, I think I caught it for a second.
Ulrich has his hand in this one, believe me.
I have to ask, since I'm a hunter and I do have outdoor survival, could I roll outdoor survival to maybe know what this wolf howling is?
So because you're an elf, no. You're
Could I roll outdoor survival?
sure. The humans could. The dwarf, probably wouldn't. Dwarves don't use hunting dogs. Magnus, you've heard nobles who have hunting dogs that sound very much like that. There's a it holds the note rather, whereas a wolf there's a higher pitch, there's a lower growl in their howl. This is definitely like a signalling dog of some sorts. The girl comes screaming in and, oh, someone please save her. Shit, what did I call him? Sir Barky? Yeah, Sir Barky! A maid then follows her, screaming, Milady, you must stop. You can't do this.
That sounds like hunting dogs.
I suppose.
She carries on in the coming out of breath now as she comes closer to the market. Please, someone! Wolves! They're gonna kill him! Please! My lady, stop! We'll get the guards, but...
Can I run to her?
Can you?
I run to her,
Sure.
if possible.
You barge through the elves as you can hear a small child in distress, and you stomp your way over to her. She sees you coming and, please, Master Dwarf, my dog, he's the wolves, please save him.
Where is the dog?
Just outside of town, in the fields, by the trees, the woods. Her hand trembles as she points and tears run down her face. The maid, seeing that you're being serious, there's a clearing with trees and such just outside of town. My lady plays there with her hound, and the wolves came.
I motion to the humans to come over and say, in a polite way. I can't really come up with something polite right now. Alright, we will do it. Where can we find you back? With the old fancy lord stuff.
What, sorry?
She.
To the mate.
Well, we'll be here. If you come back and with Sir Barky, he'll lead you to us.
I nod and I motion to the group.
Follow?
We going.
Really
Clearly
will
making it clear that I want to go.
Riley will crack her neck, start spinning on an arrow, grab her bow and say, "Oh, let's go. What are we waiting for?"
I suppose I will go grab short stack.
Sure. So you grab, charge back to the tavern, grab your horse. Sorry, your horse will also be paid for whilst the merchant noble is hiring it. So your stabling and the food is all covered as long as you're with the merchant. You grab short stack and mount up and go to meet the others. The others, I imagine, you're already making your way to where the girl came from.
The hell happened there? Hello?
Hello.
Okay, that's right.
Hi there.
So the rest of you make your way to the entrance. Well, one of the entrances to this small town, as Magness catches up with you quickly on his horse. Again, you hear the sound of the wolves howling, multiple this time. But you hear the sound of this other dog, Magness has pointed out, a type of hunting dog, howls. But it seems odd, as you're listening to the dog howl, it's moving further away from town, pulling the beasts away. You would have thought that a pet would run towards town to safety, but this one appears to be leading the pack away. Can those of you who have follow trail, outdoor survival, give me rolls with plus 20s, because it's quite easy. There's a lot of howling.
You know what? I'm actually going to fortune this because, come on. I know I don't have to. This is a question about, pride.
Oh, Jesus. I am
Jesus
deaf.
Christ. At least I passed.
Okay, so as you come out of the town, Casper, hearing the sounds of the howling, looks in another direction, and as he turns around, he sees Ilya looking down at the tracks in the grass, and Magness is craning his head, covering his ears, trying to. Yeah, no, it's definitely. No one notices that Casper was looking in the other direction as Mordred comes out of the town's small wooden walls on his steed, looking straight in the direction, and begins to charge off, or march with the group. Fortunately, you have enough people who have pinpointed it that you make your way there quickly, with all haste. As I bring you over to the map. There is space where you can. There we go. Where you can place your tokens. Actually, why did I do that? There you go. I pulled you all over there. Now, whilst you do that, hopefully you can keep everyone entertained whilst I quickly have a power piss. 1 second.
Hello.
Hello there.
Kenobi.
There you go.
I'm surprised Yasna didn't beat me to the punch.
Oh dear lord. Oh, what was this? Never mind.
Well, Yasna, you did hear it, right? These are wolves. Are you happy?
I'm back. Wow, that's one way to clean lime scale off a toilet. So,
You're getting lime skill in your toilet. I feel bad for you.
no, not really, but it was funny. Right. Oh, I didn't actually... we can do all that at the same time. So, as you come into the clearing, you can see a few trees and you're quickly drawn to the location. Magness, do you want to be on your horse for combat, or would you dismount?
I don't have a
Sorry, not
horse.
Sorry, not Magnus. Mordred.
What?
Magnus, do you want to be on your boat for this combat?
Yes.
I would
Take me
love to
into
be on
battle.
No, I suppose I would like to be on. No, I'll dismount. That's fine.
Okay, because I believe no, you have ride. So I'm not sure if there's a skill for mounted combat or if it's you just need to do a ride check. I would need to look it up because we've never actually done mounted combat. So I'm quite glad that you decided to leave the horse. You dismount, and as the others come round, you hear the sound of the wolves and the dog, and I will reveal where they are. So don't move your tokens from where they are now. All the stuff that has yellow circles around it, they are all bushes or trees. You can have one square in them. That's fine.
Is
But
that a person
is
or
that
a
thing?
pig?
it's a dog. It's a beagle.
Dog.
It's like a beagle.
It's a dog, Yasna.
I mean, it's clearly a dog.
It kind of looked like
I'm
a
not
kid
gonna
when I
lie,
flew over there for a second.
I thought it was
It looks like a beagle, people. Come on.
I'm sorry.
I'm fairly zoomed out. Okay, yeah, that does look like a beagle.
How dare you say, Sir? Did I call him Sir Barky? I believe that's his name.
Yes.
Sir Barky.
Does he have a castle?
His lady does.
Who knighted the dog?
She did.
What did the
Fair
dog
enough.
do to be knighted?
He was the best boy.
Gave good licks. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
That's awesome.
He was a lovely little pooch, and that's all that he needed to be.
The dog will roll better than me.
The dog has better status than you do. Lol.
I'm sorry, Blackhead, but is that seriously the maximum we can go up?
Yes, that is a crit.
29 on ouch.
Natural 10.
Hey, I got a 40.
Hey, it's better than my 13 last turn.
Oh, whoops. I didn't select my token when I rolled.
Let's have a look, Livia. So
71.
there you go. You are now added. We shall go to descending. No, that's not. That's the one. Okay, now. Why? Oh. What? What? I'm sure I pressed play on that, but never mind. So, we go into the first round, and it's actually Magness who well, not surprisingly enough, he dismounted and prepared himself first. You can see that there are... Sorry, not Magness, Mordred. I promise I'll stop. You can see that there are... they're not squares, they're meters. About 19 meters away, there are a couple of wolves. A few. And right down the other end, you can see it is... What did I say? 17?
I heard 90.
I'm not on the turn order.
Did you select your token?
You select your token and then you click roll initiative on your character sheet.
Okay.
Look at that.
There we go.
Look at that.
Whoops.
How many 10s did we get? Jesus Christ.
Don't worry, we're burning it all on initiative.
At least this is a high roll.
I mean, for me, it's...
So, Mordred.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to do? You can move. What are you equipped with? I believe you have a bow, or do you have a crossbow?
I have a crossbow with 10 shots and a whip with range 6.
Okay, so you can. I do allow this. You can shoot through friendly people when they're not in combat. So if you want, you could take a shot at one of the canines. I would say that you've all come down. All of you have got. If you're arranged, you've got an arrow knocked already, or if you've got a crossbow, there's a bolt loaded. So you can aim for a +10 and then do an attack. Or you can move and get into closer melee range. It is up to you.
I would love to take a shot at him.
Sure. So there's a +10 if you do an aim action.
Sure. Does that put me at the bottom of the initiative order? For aiming? How does aiming work?
No, it's just an action. So you have two half actions that make a full action. So you do half action aim, half action shoot.
Okay.
And then you just want to add a +10 onto your when it asks you for a modifier. One of the wolves looks at you as you go to shoot him. He doesn't look happy.
Okay.
He looks disgruntled and quite perturbed by this whole ordeal.
I'm not seeing my modifier thing.
No, when you go to attack.
Oi, I'm gonna slap you for infringing upon my boat, you filthy heretic.
When you click on attack next to the crossbow, there should be a button on the far right hand side. It will then ask for a modifier.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll bring up your sheet and I'll so if it moves around, don't worry. Yeah, so where you see me typing gibberish under your whip, you'll see you've got attack right at the end of the side, attack, damage and parry. If you go down to your weapon, you just click on the attack little dice icon, and then it will ask for a modifier. And sadly, it was a just a miss. Do you want to use a fortune point to re-roll it? Fortune points do come back every time you sleep.
Sure, I would love to.
Sure. Then re-roll the attack. and where it says FP points, which is fortune points, just take it down to 1 so you know you've used one.
Actually, under combat, you'll modify it.
And sadly, Nuffle just isn't with you on your first 2 shots. But the wolf still looks at you very, very, like, quite angrily. You've interrupted dinner. Oh, why do I have to learn people's tokens? I believe that is
Aurelia, that's me.
Aurelia, you're up.
You're quite thick for an elf.
It was the best looking.
It's the elf
female
tokens.
character.
Honestly, those elf tokens, they look good, but the artist did make them a bit thick.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have aim and shoot.
Sure.
And I'm firing at this doggy right here, the one that is closest to the pooch.
Sure. You have struck him. He cannot dodge because you can't dodge missile shots. So would you like to roll damage?
We'll do just that.
As the arrow penetrates into his body, there's a as the wolf twitches as your arrow slices his body rather than penetrating it. That sounded a wee bit. Right. They have no armor because they only have toughness. So you do a little bit. You do a little bit to the poor doggy. He looks quite pissed as he turns round.
Which dog was hit?
One up front.
Okay.
So Livia.
Can I move through Mr. Dwarf?
You can move through friendly players. Yes.
Okay, I'd like to move there then.
Sure.
Take a shot with my short bow.
There you go. You get to move 1 square more. Sure. That's a shot with a no aim. So just a flat ballistic skill. Oh, are you using the goblin bow and goblin arrows? Because then there would be a -5 for the goblin arrows, and if you've got it as poor, it'll already do the -5 for that on its quality.
It's already poor.
Sweet, sorted. And sadly, it is a miss, but the wolves have noticed you all.
Oh, goblin bow keeps up its lucky streak, I guess.
Okay, now
Magness, you are up.
Yeah, I need my okay. Damn it! Give me a. I'm just gonna run to there.
Okay, so you run down. Wolfie has seen that there are more critters coming to attack, coming to take their prey. And they don't like that. They don't like that at all. So, Wolfie is going to turn his ass around and he charges Magness, because Magness is in range. However,
Since I was running,
you did run, didn't you? Yes,
bonus or penalty?
that's a bonus to melee attacks and a penalty to ranged attacks. So he charges in. I'm going to say it's a +10. I don't think it's as much as Dark Heresy, which is a +20. So charging +10 and +10 because you were running.
And I don't think I can parry this.
You can parry any attack. But as the wolf charges in and as you're moving so quickly, it just misjudges, and you are in combat, but it is not biting your leg off. Wolves cannot parry, no, but they can dodge, I believe.
They know more than we do.
But all of you can parry with any weapon. A dagger is -10, I think I said. So, Casper, I believe you were up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, going to full run to there.
If you press X on a token, if you right click on a token and then left click, it will measure out the distance that you're traveling, just in case.
I got it.
It's a little bit easier. Yes, or you can do silly things like that. So, Wolfie's turn. The other wolf. Well.
Oh, I think I know what the other wolf is gonna do, based on proximity.
Yep. Unfortunately, you are the closest. So again, that is an attack with a +20. But again, as you've charged in and one wolf comes in, you kind of slow down a bit and it shoots past. You see another wolf and it says, whoa, 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 step back, and it flies past you again. You are in combat, but none of them hit. The other wolf, the one at the front, the one who got shot by Lysiara. Fucking... I hate that name, Henry. I really do. Irelia. It just takes a minute from what... It's one of those, like with Jazina's character, who I couldn't say his name, because I was looking at it, and I was reading it, and I'm like, I can't... my brain just... But, yeah, when I don't look at it, I can...
Don't worry, you'll get there eventually. This
wolf here is going to carry on with what it was meant to do, and that is get lunch. So, it does a plain +10, and it hits in the head, I'll mind you. Sir barks a lot, is able to have a dodge. He fails. He doesn't have any fortune
trying
points.
to be annoying. This but roll 20 says it missed.
Yes, it did miss. No. Oh, hang on. Did it roll?
It's the one. It's the one under it.
Yeah, that was the one that says it was a 65 on a 50. That was at Jazina. The one that hit was a 30 on a 40. Yes, Sir Barky does not dodge, unfortunately. So how much damage does this do? 7. Does 7. He only has 6 health. Okay. I would probably say that some of you are close enough to notice. I won't let you notice. It's fine. So you hear a cry and a whimper as you see the dog's head disappear inside of the wolf's mouth as it starts jerking around and ripping and tearing. And as it lets go, Sir Barky kind of stays on his feet, but he staggers, and there's a lot of blood coming from his head. The other wolf...
How did he survive?
How did he survive? Everyone give me perception tests. Perception tests with -20. Just out of range.
Perception?
Yes, perception. This wolf is going to charge.
-20, you said?
Yeah, -20.
Okay. So...
Seriously?
I'm gonna fate point that. I'll fate point that. No, actually, I'll not. Screw it.
Yeah, Magness, you get an attack of opportunity. Well, if you want to use up your reaction, well, actually, yeah, you can, because all the attacks come at you.
My turn's gonna come around, and next
Yeah.
I'm gonna refresh my reaction.
So, if you want an attack of opportunity, straight up melee attack as you slash out at the wolf as it runs past. Sir Barky is going to howl at the top of his lungs, and I need to just check on a talent quickly. He is going to use Flee, 96, which I believe lets him leave combat without proccing an attack of opportunity. I'm nearly 100% that's what it does. Nope, he doesn't. He still would take an attack of opportunity, but he gets more movement. That's sucky. Mr. Barky, how...
Can't he disengage?
Yes, but that's a full action. And fleeing is a full action. Actually, what is flee? It doesn't actually say it's a full action, or...
Flee gives you +1...
Yeah, +1 movement.
For when you turn around.
Yeah. It doesn't say... Well, no, actually it doesn't say for any skill. Yeah, it'd be a full action. Although, isn't...
Yeah.
It's
a challenge, so it says when your life is on the line, you're capable.
Do you know what? I'm going to allow it. I think that's acceptable. So yeah, as a half action, so he disengages, not using his agility to move away. He just disengages, and then he can run at full speed. Holy shit! He gets a movement of 7, so he can run 21.
Holy shit.
He can get to there. He disengages and runs for his life. Actually, it's 1d10 round, so let's roll 1d10. Wow, 9? Holy shit. Okay, let's just leave that on for now. Blackhand, you've just seen a dog sprint towards you. I'll give you... Oh, sorry, you all did perception tests. So, did anyone succeed? Yes. Ilya, as you look over...
Aurelia.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, no.
Aurelia, as you glance over at the howling, the squeaking howl from the Sir Barky, you notice that he appears to have leather armor on. It appears as if he has this kind of cute leather armor that has a little cap on top of it, and it has a little house sigils and filigree, and this also looks like an extremely well-bred dog as well. And actually, so Livia, did you do a -20 with your perception?
No.
Okay, so yeah, it would have been a fail like everyone else's. Yeah, you would, because you got a critical success, you would note that the filigree around the dog's leather armor appears to have a house's sigil on it. It looks like a horse's head of some description, but you're in the middle of, you're just about to fire an arrow or knock another arrow. So yeah, Blackhand, what would you like to do?
Can I shoot?
There's a -20 for shooting at an enemy in melee combat. There is a wolf right here that isn't in combat.
And this one?
Sure.
Alright. Halving. right?
Yep, half action, half aim, plus 10, and then fire.
Wait. Yeah,
So
it
you
doesn't matter.
you strike
I
it.
hit enemy.
You strike it in the body. Well, in this game you cannot dodge ballistic shots, so roll damage. Sadly, again, as you fire, the wolf kind of jerks to the side, and it's a glancing hit as it slices into its thick hide. You see a spurt of blood, and it howls in pain. But it is not down. We are back round at the start of the turn. Mordred, I believe you are reloading.
Yes.
Or would you like to engage in melee with it?
No, thank you.
Fair enough.
It's a full action for crossbow, right?
I believe yes, it's a full turn to reload a crossbow.
Okay.
Yes, if you don't have the training to reduce that, I believe it is a full action. I'll make sure that it's not more.
Take that.
Yeah, for now we'll say a full action. Right. So, Iraine.
I will fight.
Aurelia.
Aurelia will knock another goblin arrow to her ball, and she's gonna fire at the same target because she. Come on.
Sure.
The goddamn dog. Stop dodging me.
You hit.
And that is much, much better.
As you see this wolf just grab hold of this poor little dog's head and start thrashing it about, the squealing that it makes and the run of pure fear as it runs up towards you, there's something in your heart, and Ulrich seems to agree. Please roll me another.
That is quite sad, to be honest.
It is. It is. Ulrich
is
had your
quite
back,
bad.
but because you're an elf, he was like, yeah, meh. You feel a little bit more
that's not
power
really
behind the
needed.
shot as you strike the wolf in the left clavicle, striking it as it burrows deep. You hear just this as it falls to the ground dead. As it dies.
Back to the soil with you.
I'll reload and shoot an arrow with this one.
Sure. Oh, apologies. It has ran, so there is actually a -20 for it. For it running. We'll say a -10 for now because I gave them +10s for hitting Magness. So I'd say it would be a -10.
Okay.
And sadly, the goblin bow is proving to be just as it looks. Rubbish. Magness.
I'm gonna hit the bottom of aim and attack.
Sure.
There was no +10 for single attack here, right?
Not for single attack, but you can aim.
Yeah, so I aimed, and I'm gonna fortune that.
Nuffle is definitely being loving to some and hatred to others. As you slash out at the wolf, you lose your grip, and your knife falls to the ground. It will take a half action to pick it up.
Yep, figures.
And it's the wolf's turn. Wolfie.
And I've got nothing to parry with right now.
True. I will allow you
Dodge.
to do it with your hands at a -10, as you basically try and just slap its head away. It gets a +10 for aiming and a +10 for ganging up. But it misses as it strikes, as it leaps forwards, lunging forwards. It misses entirely. Casper, you're up.
Going to charge this wolf. Oh, that's the thing.
Sure. We'll move you back one. There we go. You charge into the wolf. You get a +10 for your charge attack.
Yep. Oh, there we go. Nope.
But they are no longer ganging up on Magness, so they don't get the bonus for having 2. Other wolfie that's on Magness, well, it just gets a +10 now. And it misses. The wolves
I suppose Nuff will giveth and Nuff will taketh away.
He does, and he doesn't seem to want to help the wolves. Would this... There we go. Oh, it's probably because... Yeah, so he should be there then. So... It'd be cruel for me to do that. So he's going to charge the closest one. So he gets a +10 for charging against Livia, but he misses because Nuffle doesn't want the wolves to do anything this round. Sir Barky is going to run, and settle down behind the group. Black Hand, you're up.
No wolves that I can't hit in combat range that are in
All the wolves are now in melee, yes. So that would be a -20 to shoot them.
I'm thinking. Are there penalties for moving into combat?
If you want to move into combat, there's no penalties. You can't shoot a crossbow in melee combat. It's only leaving combat.
I will need to spend an action to draw my axe, right?
Yep. Unless you have quick draw.
Half reload. No. Half reload. No. Full action or half action?
It's half an action to pull out.
And you put away your so you'd put away your crossbow and draw your other weapon.
So I put away my shotbow and I draw my axe, and I think that's my turn.
No, you can. So you've still got half action left. So half action, put your crossbow. You can move into combat, but you can't attack.
Yeah, I will move to tear.
Okay, just so you know, you're not actually in combat there.
There is a name action for melee weapons too, right?
Yes.
Or not?
Yes.
Yes. But for you to be in combat, you have to act in this square. Because where you are currently, you're not in combat. Wolf is just these 2 squares.
I can move to there, but is that
Yeah, that's not enough because they're 2x2. They're 2x1s, and you can only move 3.5 move. You could get close.
I keep forgetting you're a dwarf. Shots to the legs.
Are you ready? You look aggressive at the creature, at the wolf. We are at the back around. Mordred, you're up.
Aye. So, in order to, well, they're all in melee. Crap. I will continue to engage this one.
Sure. It's a -20 for shooting into combat. If you have fast, no, you've already reloaded, so you can aim. So it'd be a -10 overall.
I accept.
I will add, if you miss with 1 degree of failure, you hit your friendly, your ally. You miss massively, but fortunately, it's not a critical failure.
Okay. Do I still have the one more fate?
You still have if you have a fortune point, you can use it. Yep.
All right, let's use that real quick. And that should be my last one.
You hit it. Please roll me damage. Sadly, Nuffle was 4 off, but with a hit of 10, you pierce the wolf's side. And it howls in pain as you do a significant amount of damage to it. The arrow has penetrated, the bolt has penetrated. No, you're firing a bow. No, you're firing a crossbow. The bolt penetrates deep into the wolf's side, and you hear as it tries to howl. There's a almost a windy or a windless kind of sound to it. You may have punctured a lung. Sadly,
Excellent.
It did not fall. Irelia.
I'm gonna knock one of the actual good arrows. Right, who's trying to bite Livia?
And you strike it.
And damage. You know.
Is it that one?
Yes, that's that one. 6 damage.
As you fire into its rear legs, into its hips, you just see its back quarter just crumple, and as it hits the floor, perhaps the bolt that's lodged within its chest did more damage than was previously thought, because it just and falls. And it is quite dead. I hope you're proud of yourselves killing these poor little doggies.
Hey, they're worth a lot. 2 gold then.
Proud,
Sell
not really.
price.
But this is a necessary evil.
Livia, you're up. The wolf in front of you has just perished.
I'll style the short bow and draw the quarterstaff and take a move action.
Sure. So you can do a half move.
To think
Sure.
that.
Magness, you're up. Should have had an alpha wolf. I didn't think about that. Next time. Yeah, next time. Magness? Are you there?
Yes, I am going to pick up my knife.
Good man.
And I'm gonna slash at the wolf again.
At the bottom one?
life. Oh, so I'm going to have to be going fairly soon. 15 more minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll see if we can get these 2 wolves killed. If not, we will carry on in the next time. The wolf is going to attack. It's going to attack Casper. As this new person has come close, it hits. It bites at your leg. Would you like to parry, sir?
Yep.
So if you just click on the parry dice next to your weapon.
Hey.
And you just smash its head out of the way, just knocking its head to the side, and it misses your leg entirely. You look at Magness like, this is how it's done. How did the goblins hit you so often, so much?
Okay. Aim, and then attack the wolf that just tried to bite me.
Sure.
So that is a 10.
Yep.
Hey!
And you crack it in the hindquarters. It does have a dodge, which they haven't been able to use.
It tried to bite me in the leg, I hit it in the leg.
And it fails. As you smash it in its leg, it tries to jump out the way, but it just doesn't make it. Please roll me damage.
2. Great. 2 damage to its leg. So we'll go through this.
Have you got the ability that puts your damage up by 1?
No.
Because I'm wondering how. Oh, because you've got 1 strength. You rolled a So you rolled a 1 and you've got 1 strength.
It's -2.
And then it's -2 for the weapon. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at that, going, so why is it red but it's a 2? And it worked. Yeah, my brain's worked it out now. So you strike it, but it just seems to be more angry and bruised. The one against Magness. It attacks. And it hits you. Would you like to parry with a... Well, technically you're using a knife, so there's already a -10 because it's a knife. Oh, hang on. Did you take a knife, or is that long knife just for flavour, and it is a hand weapon? Magness. Zena?
Sorry, yes.
Is your knife, is that actually a hand weapon? And
It's a hand weapon, yes.
okay, normal parry then, please. And unfortunately, the wolf...
I'm gonna fortune that, actually.
Fair enough.
My last fortune. Why do I even bother with these 3 rolls?
Unfortunately, Nuffle just has decided he doesn't like you, as the wolf bites down onto your abdomen, doing 5 damage. Just a little wolf bite. Just a little bit. That wolf's dead. Sir Barky lets out a howl. A really, really long, long howl. Blackhand, you're up.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
What's your charge? Is it 9?
9.
Oh, god damn it! Do you know what? I'll give you that extra meter. I'll give it to you this one. We need to get the wolf's dead anyway. You can charge into there with into the wolf with your hand axe.
Oh no, my charge is 6.
No, it should be 3 times.
That's a run. Charge is double.
Oh god damn it!
That is literal. Shots the leg.
I'm sorry. I'd give you an extra meter, but I can't give you an extra 4.
Well, put the axe away, draw the bow, and reload.
Sure. Mordred, you're up.
I suppose I will use a half action to stow the crossbow and draw the whip.
Sure.
And then movement is a half action, or movement is just movement?
Movement's a half action. So for you, it'd be
Okay.
5.
I would like to move. What is mine?
It'd be 5, as you're an elf. Unless you've got Strider,
Yeah.
then it adds 1.
All right, that is me.
Irelia.
Knock another good arrow. Roll flat. That's a hit. I'm trying to hit the one on top. This one right here.
You know who's got all the luck, don't you? You can all blame that elf. Roll me damage, please.
And that's my damage.
With 11, you seriously hurt the wolf.
But not dead.
No, it howls and squeals, and it looks as if you've hit it in the clavicle again, but this one stays up just. Livia, you're up.
I'll charge the wolf, but I'll go around to here.
Sure.
And
so that's a +10 for charging. There's also another +10 for ganging up on that particular wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you outnumber, it starts making it a lot easier.
oh, for fuck's sake. I'm using a fortune.
Sure. Well, Nuffle's only pleasuring one of the elves, it seems. Although,
I'm
saying
pretty
that,
sure that's the.
Why didn't
I'm pretty sure that the pleasuring part is.
Yeah.
Nuffle's really so nice.
more than likely, or an aspect. Do you want to roll again? Because it hasn't rolled.
No, it did.
Ah, okay, that's took a while.
It's
So
laggy.
sadly, no. The wolf darts to the side. Magness. If you attack the top one, you'll get a +20. You'll get a 20 overall. If you attack the bottom one, you only get your 10. What was that, Livia?
We'll just pretend I'm not a combat character.
It's okay, you're level 1. It's how it goes. Once you've got those 70s to hit and you're just annihilating everything, it will just be all in the past. Magnus?
Yes.
If you attack the wolf at the top, you'll get a +20. If you attack the wolf at the bottom, you only get a 10.
We'll make that 20 because I'll aim.
Yeah, half aim and ganging up.
I want to kill that wolf.
Oh, that's Nuffle really pissing on you. I mean,
I'm sorry, yes. But...
I'm going to go to the bathroom now, and I'll pretend this didn't fucking happen.
Sure. So, the wolves are going to make a willpower test because they are losing numbers quickly. So the top wolf is going to attempt to run. Can Casper and Livia give me attacks of opportunity? This will use up your reaction, so you won't be able to dodge or parry, but it's running away.
Can I make an opportunity to? Or no thing for the archers?
Not for the archers. This is because he's leaving their combat zone. If no one hits,
I'm going to use a fortune point.
then you may get a chance to hit, a chance to shoot once they try and run away.
Son of a...
Nuffle is just Nuffle's a cruel Nuffle's a cruel bastard. He really is. So he runs, I believe it's 21. No, hang on. No, I got that wrong last time. It's 18. So he runs 18. Casper.
Alright.
You can move into combat with the wolf.
Could I charge it from this distance?
You would have to move backwards and then go forwards. I believe. No, hang on, ruler, come here. So you've got to go to 4, and then charge back. So that would be 8. That would be well within your charge distance. So sure. You get an extra plus 10 because you are ganging up. So you'll get 10 for charging and 10 for ganging up.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. Okay.
You strike at the wolf. The wolf does get a dodge. And let me come to here. He fails to dodge, but sadly you bonk him on the right leg, bruising and upsetting the wolf, but unfortunately not doing any damage for its toughness. However, it is going to run much like its compatriot did. So if you want to give me another flat attack. Magness, you around? Are you in the bathroom?
I'm around.
Do you want to give me a flat attack as the wolf tries to run?
I don't like Knuckles today.
Nuffle hates me.
Nuffle hates some of you, he really does. Anyone who's got a ranged weapon can make a ranged attack as the wolves run away. There's a -20 because they are running. And I believe for some of you... No, I believe 30 is the short range for crossbows. Off the top of my head.
Can I draw a bow?
I have a short bow, so I have a range of 32.
Okay, so you're firing at long range, so there'd be a -40 in total. -20 for long range, -20 for a running... No, sorry, I said a -10 earlier, didn't I? So yeah, -10 for running, a running target.
So, how many?
-30 overall. Sadly, your bolt pings off as the wolves flee. Losing a number of their pack, they charge off into the woods. And as you all get a grip of what's just happened and what kind of quest you've just been on,
I pick my axe and start skinning the wolf.
that is where we'll end the episode. And we can do your skinning next time. So I do hope everyone's
That works too.
I do hope everyone's enjoyed this episode of Warhammer Fantasy tabletop RPG. Nuffle is a bastard, he really is, but that's why we play this game. I hope you can join me all next time for the next episode, and I will see you then. So take care everyone, and as always, bye bye for now.